guys. It is Monday, June 16th, a very lovely Monday, if you ask me. And I'm back to pick back up on our daily Moneyline bets. Real quick breakdown of today's video. I'm going to start by recapping the weekend. Then I'm going to recap last week, go over some big winners, some big losers, go over my up-to-date season stats, and then get into my Moneyline picks for today, Monday, June 16th. So last week, we ended up 54-38, which is good for being positive, money-wise. So I would take 54-38 every week. What I wouldn't take, though, is Saturday we went 9-6. That's not the part that I'm, too mad about. 9-6 is still profitable, barely, but profitable nonetheless. Yesterday, though, we went 6-9, which think I could have profited more money if I, actually went and sucked booty cheeks, rather than sucking booty cheeks in the figurative sense here. So, this weekend, really didn't do it. I legitimately think this weekend was just, hey, let's not worry about baseball. Let's just focus on recovering our guys, because everyone who I picked to win, who usually wins, didn't. And there were some teams that I bet against that went out and won. So we're going to leave that behind us. We're going to move on. Before we move on, though, really quickly, a new spreadsheet that I just made is I'm going to be keeping track of the team season stats. So as of right now, you can see the whole spreadsheet. I'm going to be hiding some columns here and there, but I've got every team, their division. I'm going to be making adjustments based on where the teams are at in their division when I update their records. I'm going to update the records probably every Sunday. I updated this yesterday, so I'll probably update them every Sunday. That way we can go over it in our Monday video. And then I also am going to keep track of how often am I accurate when betting on this team's money line. So when I say money line wins and money line losses, that is, I bet for them to win and they won, and I bet for them to win and they lost. So, for example, the Tigers here, I bet for them to win 5 times in the month of May. They won 4 of those times, lost 1 of the times. So you can see in the month of May, I was perfect on 5 different teams. I was perfect on betting on the Mets, on the Rays, on the Blue Jays, on the Rangers, and on the Angels. And I was the opposite of perfect on the Royals, the A's, the Nationals, the Marlins, and the Pirates. And then you can also see there are 3 teams that throughout the month of May I did not bet on them to win. And that is the Rockies, the Cardinals, and the White Sox. So now, if we go to the month of June, let me hide this real quick because we're not going to need this anymore that I've gone over it. The month of June, right here at the halfway point, there's only one team in the month of June that I'm still perfect on, and that is the Blue Jays. Don't know how I'm working that one, but, here we are. I am doing fairly well on a lot of them. There's also only one team that I'm the opposite of perfect on. That's the Marlins. Apparently I think really highly of the Marlins, because I picked them to win 3 times, and they have not won any of those times. And then you can also see, so far in the month of June, I've had 101 correct Moneyline picks and 71 incorrect, which is good for a 587 record. And another thing that I want to add, and I'm going to put that here, is you're going to watch me update this right now. I'm going to put an overall record here so I can see my running total, which will be updated probably once a week. And I'm also going to keep my overall record here. So, let's see, that would be actually, no, we'll just do B34 divided by I can get rid of, I'm just going to start that over. It equals B34 divided by the sum of 34 and C34. Then I'll close that out. Bang. So, now, if I go back and rehide my month of May, you can see that in the month of June, I was 101 and 71, good for a 587 record. And overall, so far this season, I am 156 and 106, good for a 595 record. So on the net, we're positive. So that's a real quick breakdown of my season stats so far. Now let's get into my Monday Moneyline bets. Pretty small slate today, only 7 games, which is probably good considering the streak that I've been on. Get a nice small slate to get my leg back. That way, tomorrow, Wednesday, pretty much the rest of the week when we've got a full slate. Thursday, there's only 14 games, but other than that, we're full the rest of the week. So this is a good small slate to get our lick back and bounce back a little bit. So the Phillies Marlins, this is one that I was a little bit back and forth on because on paper the Phillies do look like the overall best team here. If we look at their pitching, Alcantara, I don't know what's going on with him right now. He's 3-7. He's got a 7.14 ERA. I've seen pitchers get sent back to the minors for having an ERA that big. And if we look here at the batting leaders, Schwarber killing them. Edwards is pretty close, but still not great. And then, again, Schwarber. He's absolutely destroying right now. Another big concern that I have here is Bryce Harper is on the 10-day IL. He has been on there he's about halfway through now. He's been on there for about 6 days. He can come back on the 20th, but he's a huge part of their squad. And the only non-pitcher that's on their injury report, a lot of the research I was doing was actually pointing towards the Marlins getting the upset here. But I still chose the Phillies because I just can't with this ERA. I think with the strength of Phillies bats and the not strength of Alcantara's ability to stop or prevent the runs, I think that's going to work in Philly's favor today. So I took the Phillies to win in our opener for it today. Rockies and Nats, I picked the Nationals to win. This one was a fairly easy one. You could tell when I went through my season stats, I don't think I've ever picked the Rockies to win. I don't think that's changing. Now, if we look at their pitchers here, Palmquist, yes, he's young. Yes, he is new. But he has 4 losses, no wins, a 7.77 ERA. If I thought Alcantara was bad, whoo! And we don't even have to look at Irvin. If I just look at that, he's not. I can't bet for a pitcher of that caliber to win. The bats are pretty comparable. But I took the Nats to win this one. Next up, we have the Angels and the Yankees. Just like I said, I don't think I'll ever bet for the Rockies to win. I don't think I'll ever bet for the Yankees to lose. Did it pay off this weekend? No. I'm pretty sure they got swept by the Red Sox. Let me see. Yeah, they got swept by the Red Sox, and I think I picked them to win every single game. But that being said, I think the streak stops now because the Angels are not a great team. Yes, they are close to 500, but really, they're not a great team. Pitching, it's pretty comparable here. They're both fairly similar skill set wise. But batting is where the Yankees are going to get that advantage. So I think the Yankees are going to win that one. Um, Especially because it's also at home, and the Yankees hopefully will play better being at home in Yankee Stadium. Um, Also, you're going to have to apologize. I got paid and I put money in my retirement, and now it's all getting put into stocks. So I keep getting these messages. Sorry. Next, we have the Orioles and the Rays. Probably a game. Honestly, I might watch it because my Guards aren't playing today, and I might watch it just to see how bad it could be. And you never know, it could end up being a good game. I took the Orioles here. They are technically the underdog. ESPN's got them at a 38.9% chance to win, but they're both negative money, which means that Vegas says this is a toss-up. And if we look at the pitching, Eflin here, who's starting for the Orioles, he's got a 4.08 ERA, which isn't great. It's worse than Pikkit's, if that's how you pronounce it. And however, the win-loss record here is what's really doing it for me. Yeah, he's scoring quite a few runs, but it looks like his team is backing him up. Whereas Pepio, it's not so much. Which is kind of weird when you look at these batting averages, because if you look at the batting on paper, the Rays are so much better than the Orioles, but yet the bats for Baltimore are really helping Eflin out, whereas they're not helping Pepio out. And I think because of the trends that I'm seeing here with Pepio and Eflin, I took the Orioles to win this one. Next up, we've got the Red Sox and the Mariners. These are both teams that I, as of right now, really do not like, because the Mariners just absolutely beat the shit out of my Guardians, and the Red Sox made me look a little stupid when they swept the Yankees. So I've got a little bit of a chip on my shoulder for both of these teams, but I think having a chip on my shoulder for both teams kind of helped me make more of a fair choice. I chose the Mariners to win this one. They are the overall favorites according to the matchup predictor and according to the Vegas odds. If we look at pitching here, they both have similar win-loss records, so I'm going to forget that. But Giolito here has a 5.45 ERA, whereas Gilbert only a 2.37. Giolito's got more innings pitched, but yet Gilbert has more strikeouts. If we look at batting, Seattle's bats on paper are worlds away. The averages are pretty comparable, 64 to 296, but home runs, I don't, Raleigh must be eating his Wheaties this year, because I can tell you, I did not hear of his name much last year, and now he's got 26 home runs halfway through the month of June. Anyway, that being said, I took the Mariners to win this one. Astros and A's, this one, I kind of surprised myself a little bit. The Astros are the favorite, and the A's are not great. They're kind of a joke team, and it's partly because they don't have a hometown, but also because they're really not that great. They're known as the Moneyball team. Their franchise does not like to spend money on having good players. But if we look at this, they have inverse records here. Spence has a 2-1, whereas McCullers has a 1-2. The ERAs, Spence has a 4.91, or Spence has a 3.67, and McCullers has a 4.91, which is a decently large gap when you're looking at bats like this, where they are fairly similar. So I think because Spence is good at keeping the runs down slightly more than McCullers is, and the bats are similar, I think the A's are going to pull this one out. And our nightcap, we've got the Padres and the Dodgers. Ohtani is making his first start, and I legitimately, because of the amount of press that he's gotten the last couple of years, and he's shown out whenever he gets this press, I don't think you can bet against the man. So I took the Dodgers to win this one with Shohei starting on the mound. So those are my picks. I'm going to change it up a little bit today. I'm not going to do my round robin because I found that on these smaller slates, somehow, the smaller the slate, the less profitable the round robin is, even on the return on investment. So I'm only going to do straights on these, probably only do that from here on out. But at least for today, that's what I'm going to do. So here are my picks. Let me know in the comments if you agree, if you disagree, if you don't trust my opinion anymore because I sucked over the weekend. And speaking of the weekend, if you want to tail my picks, maybe you're too lazy to put them in yourself, or maybe on the weekends when I'm not posting videos, you want to tail, see what picks I'm making. Add me on Pikkit. I put my username in the description, and if you want to get more daily Moneyline bets, that way you can win money throughout the MLB season. Make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.